On this episode of Cosmic Cantina, Matt updates us on his battles with dark forces. We dive into alien abduction. Is it actually aliens? Then, I interview an engineer who may have proof that an ancient AI device could be the root of all evil. I'm your host, Melissa Tittle, and every week I go to my favorite bar, Cosmic Cantina, and kick back with my co-hosts, Josh Golembeski and Matt O'Connor. We talk about aliens, Bigfoot, ghosts, ancient cultures, and anything from the unseen world that needs a little illumination. All right, welcome to this week's Cosmic Cantina. Tonight we're drinking Casillero del Diablo. It's a cab from Chile.
The Devil's Cellar.
Good name.
It's good stuff.
Right?
Yeah,
It's a good name for this podcast, actually, because we're going to talk about abductions and negative entity attachments.
I know one guy with one of those.
Yeah, had one of those.
Little
Little tease there.
Yeah.
Before we go into what happened to Matt, I just wanted to bring up a story that I found. And just in case people don't know what we're talking about alien abductions, which of course is not a new term, but I just wanted to run past an example of a story. So this was on ABC News actually. His name is Stan Romansky, and he's actually from Denver. He was in broad daylight driving, and he witnessed a UFO. And ever since then, he's been having these weird occurrences when he's sleeping. He wakes up with marks on his body. He's starting to see stuff. And he went to get hypnotized. And, this is just a regular computer technician guy. Just not, that's all he does, right? He, under hypnotic regression, was able to do high-level math. In fact, one thing he was explaining in his hypnotic regression was Drake's equation, which is calculation of the Milky Way, which is really odd.
So he got abducted, then after it, he gained an advanced ability that only came out when he was being regressed? So like in real life, he wasn't a genius?
Yeah, in real life, he didn't know anything about astrophysics.
So it just unlocks some shit. I mean, it's pretty common for someone to see a UFO, and then that opens a Pandora's box of like this paranormal shit happening to them. That's like a common thread that happens to UFO viewers.
Huh. And so I never heard of someone gaining like a special ability.
Yeah, I've never had that before, though. Yeah,
I want that to happen to me.
Yeah. Well, maybe it is. You don't know it.
Yeah, it's happening.
You haven't unlocked it yet. But so, of course, people are saying, oh, he's crazy. He's got some kind of psychological disorder. I mean, the guy was completely normal until this moment in time.
Huh.
Until he saw this one UFO, and then he had all this weird stuff. And he's taking pictures of all the marks on his body. Apparently he has implants, all that kind of stuff. So it's interesting, right? So I want to bring up one more thing that's a little strange. There's also another thing called negative entity attachment. So this is, in the New Age world, when a negative entity like a demon or an evil spirit or some kind of dark force attaches itself to your own energy field and starts to leech energy off of you, and also influences your beliefs and your thoughts and your habits and your own energy levels. And this might sound like hocus pocus, but according to this one site, entityattachments.com, check it out.
Sounds legit.
It's
looking
real.
it up.
Okay. 75 to 80% of the population have spirit, entities, ghosts, human souls attached to them. 50 to 60% of the population have dark forces or demons or dark ETs attached to them. And 80 to 90% of the population have some form of entity attachment to their house, their apartment, or their land.
Interesting.
The reason I'm bringing these two things is because there's a story, and there's lots of stories of people with abductions. There's actually a lot of stories with people that say they have dark entities attached to them too. However, they both seem to affect energy fields. Okay, so the abduction, it's a physical thing. They leave their home, they go to a spaceship, they get implants in their body. Okay, fine. But it's still like they're interacting with something on a non-physical level, just like the dark entity situation. And even though this sounds crazy, you have to think that, an atom is an extremely dense, positive charged nucleus surrounded by a region of, probability waves, right?
This shit just got sciencey.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm just
No,
explaining,
strap in, folks. I'm
if
on
you
board.
don't-
Yeah.
If you don't think that you have an energy field around you, like all of the atoms in your body have an energy field, and those interact with they interact with each other. So it would make sense that if the tiniest part of your body is an energy field, there would be one around you, right? Because you have these tiny parts of it that are making it up. I just want to point that out because even though everything that we're talking about might sound like it's not possible, it could be possible.
Yeah. All right. I'm convinced.
That something can feed off of your energy field,
Yeah.
for good or for bad.
Yeah, and it's not by any means a new concept either. It's like, the idea of an entity feeding off you in some way, whether it be your energy or your blood or whatever it is. It's like it goes back to the oldest of myths and legends and stories.
Well, what I always thought was interesting, I always assumed that attachments were like a demon in the religious sense, something from another dimension that's negative, that's lurking, and attaching to you and sucking the energy out of you. But what I thought was fascinating was an update with you, Matt, that not all attachments are a dark entity from another dimension or a monster or a ghost or a ghoul, but can actually be alien.
Yeah. Turns out they can be alien.
Okay, so Matt got a...
What would you call it? An energetic cleansing of
energetic
sorts?
cleansing? I think that's a
I don't
good
know. I
term.
just made that up. But,
I think that sounds about right.
It works.
He got rid of some negative shit. From this woman named Sonja Grace. Just wanted to give everybody her bio in case you want to check her out. She's an award-winning author, mystic healer. She's an energy surgeon. She goes in even long distances and is able to take out these negative energies in an instant. She's been on a lot of Gaia shows. Ancient Civilizations. She's been on Coast to Coast with George Norrie. And if you want to reach out to her, sonjagrace.com. So we really wanted to get Matt clear to this entity. If you've been listening to the podcast, we convinced maybe Matt that he has a dark entity of which he's been sober until tonight, because now he can drink because apparently dark forces are gone. So I'll let Matt take the floor, but this is really interesting.
All right. Sonja, I talked to her over the phone, and she did all this over the phone, which was, like, amazing. So it wasn't just one attachment to me. It was two.
Wow.
So one was a tall grey, she told me.
So these are both alien attachments.
Alien attachments, yeah. They're both alien attachments. So one, the tall grey had been attached since I was, like, a child, apparently.
That makes sense because it connects to your childhood abduction scenario.
Right. So I said, there was an event when I was a child.
Wow.
And I explained a little bit of my experience, the kind of floating above the floor sensation and waking up somewhere in the house. And she basically said, you were abducted by aliens.
So you weren't, when you were saying that you were dragged out of your bed, that you were being abducted?
Yeah, according to Sonja, that was what was happening.
You originally told this story many podcasts ago, and we all assumed it was some sort of paranormal activity where the ghost didn't like you in its room, and it would move you to your parents' room.
Yeah.
But apparently what Sonja is saying is this is...
It was a classic abduction, apparently.
Well, it does fit that same scenario. It does fit the same thing.
And then he missed time, and then he was outside the bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Did you have any marks on your body? Like when you probably don't remember.
Oh, I don't remember at all, yeah. But anyway, so she got rid of that grey alien who sort of was stuck in there, and I kind of I asked, what the plan was, like why were they doing this? And she had said it was kind of this subversive infiltration of like a takeover of the human race, that they were just like jumping in the bodies of people for some reason.
So you got poked.
I got poked. So on top of that, I had...
Wait, before you keep going, we gotta pause. For people out there is a prevailing theory in the UFO world that is what's happening. That aliens are trying to infiltrate us slowly in a mass takeover.
And I always had thought that was the idea of that was like a physical thing where, you have is it David Jacobs? He talks about like the hybrids who are, creating human alien hybrids and sort of subversively taking over the population that way, of like injecting themselves into the populace.
Yeah, I assumed that too. I thought it was a physical thing.
But yeah, apparently it can be an energetic thing as well, where they're taken over spiritually. So it wasn't just that one guy. But I also had a series of, what did she call them? Energy implants. I had some in my eyes, some in my spine, my heart.
Crazy.
All from the gray. This is just,
I think it was from the gray, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
And then the
Those
second
creepy
one
bastards.
put implants in you too?
No, I think that was just from the gray. But apart from that, so recently, and this one was more recent, the second attachment was what she called a shadow alien.
Is this guy wearing a hat?
She didn't mention hats. But as he left, he was like, yeehaw!
wait, so a shadow... So did you tell her anything about what was happening from these dark entities that you were witnessing, the Hat Man?
No, I hadn't at all. No, I didn't explain anything to her before she started. She just like went quiet for a little bit and then was like, all right, listen up, here's what's happening.
So that's creepy.
That is really creepy.
So what the craziest thing was, she was saying like, you gotta... once we were clear and everything, she was like, all right, so you can stand up to these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Because they kick them in the face. Because what they do is they feed off fear, apparently. Which is, again, like a classic, like, it was like a classic theme from a lot of different, old tales.
Yes, tales all the
Again,
time.
like feeding off your energy kind of thing.
Right.
So, and she had specifically said, which is like crazy, blew my mind. She was like, what you need to do is like, think of it as creating a lightsaber for yourself.
No way.
Yeah. And I was like, did you hear that story that I told? And she said, no, I didn't, she didn't hear anything about it. Cause I was like, cause that was the thing when I was a kid that I stood up to these things with my trusty toy lightsaber.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
And so she
80s.
had described it as, imagine like creating an energy lightsaber, like to bat these things away with, or to defeat them, or to stand up to them, or whatever. So I thought that was like, wow, it was crazy.
So everybody out there, get a lightsaber and
Get
put it
yourself a
underneath your bed.
lightsaber and start waving that fucker around. Yeah, so we did some visualizations after that, and some cleansings, and I am now 100% alien attachment free.
Wait, what about the dark entity? What about
the dark
Oh yeah,
entity?
she fucked him off as well.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, there's two different attachments, but
Yep.
the gray attachment was putting energetic... what around your body?
Implants?
Implants. And the second
Yeah.
attachment wasn't doing that. It was a different kind of deal.
Yeah,
it was more
so
of a
she said-
succubus vampire character that was sucking your energy from you.
Right.
And the first might have been more of a takeover, slowly
Yeah.
infiltrating.
So my understanding was that,
got
I'm
tanked.
not sure about their end game really still. Or, I mean, it's a takeover, I guess, is what she was saying. So the first entity, the tall grey that came in, apparently had like busted holes through my auric field.
Wow, calm down, Gray.
Yeah, he busted through my
Careful
auric
now.
field.
He's like, you better open that door or I'm going to bust it down.
Yeah, so he came in through that way, and that was kind of left open apparently, and that's how the second one got in.
Ooh, that's interesting.
But she closed all those up for me, and
How?
as she, I don't know, she went silent again, and she concentrated. She didn't tell me how, but she said she closed them up for
was
me.
Sonya using guides, or did she use guides? What was her...
Yes, she has
what's her method?
guides. Yeah.
Oh,
She
so the
was talking
guides
about
probably
guides.
helped her. She probably contacted them. They swarmed you.
Yep.
And
They
helped
probably
her
put
move.
energy back in your energy field that was broken.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I just realizing now I should have asked more questions, but I just kind of went along with it. What else was there, man?
But so the second one, what was that agenda? Is it the one where you were saying it was like a spiritual takeover? Is that what the second
Yeah, I
one
mean
was
they
about?
both kind of were, as far as I could tell. They both seem to have a similar plan as the takeover, but they were just two different sort of factions of
Different
alien
races?
different races, I guess, something like that.
It sounds like to me the second one was more of a low-level type. When they say alien, I don't think advanced civilization. I think maybe it was an entity that was just sucking energy from you.
I think you can. We talked about this before, but I think Sonya says alien. Some people say it's jinn. Some people call it demon.
Right.
I think maybe my thought is this is kind of we're all describing the same thing
Different names.
by different names. Yeah.
Well, most people think alien. They think a being from
gray.
another planet, a gray,
Yeah.
a physical being that could pop up here.
Right.